Alright, howdy y'all. Not a whole lot going on right this minute. I spent the whole day cleaning the shop up. I'll show you, it may not look like it very much, but it is way cleaner than it was. And I got all the tools around, got them all put away, so I knew where they were because they were scattered everywhere. But I'll show you. Got a little mess in that corner right there that I swept up, but it's got to kind of stay that way. And this is still a disaster in here, but there's not much I can do about it until I bring my tractor up to the door and start getting all this stuff out of here. Like, that's not my battery, it needs to go to my dad. And I got some starters down here and intakes and stuff that I'll go in the tractor bucket and be taken out to the camper and put in for storage. And then I got my transmission that I'm about to start rebuilding. You guys are going to see that. Not rebuilding, but taking it apart and putting in the shift kit and stuff for it. And for now I'm stuck with a standard torque converter from 1971. So I'm just gonna clean it all up, paint it, and use it for now until I got the money to get the 2500 stall converter that I need for my cam. And my motor mounts, which I'm just gonna clean up and reuse these for now. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, I kind of cleaned up this bench a little bit, tried to put stuff away. And right there's the headers, valve covers, and my roller rockers that are in here. Of course they're chrome, they're not the yellow ones. I wish they were the yellow ones. And gold ones, that'd be really nice. But I couldn't afford them, they were twice as much money. So, gotta get what I gotta get. And let's see, oh. Yeah, this is Frankenstein's old carburetor. And these used to run really good on him. I PB blasted everything for right now just to try to keep it oiled and put it down in the choke and stuff, you know, in the bowls, and sprayed down the linkages on each side. And I'm gonna get this cleaned up really good. And this is gonna go back on Frankenstein. I was gonna use this on the drag car, but I think I'm gonna use the Summit Racing and just change the linkage for it. That 750 that I have on Frankenstein, I put this one back on Frankenstein because Frankenstein ran great with this one. And the other one, it doesn't seem to run right. And it's not really the carburetor, I'm not sure what is going on with it. It tuned good when I checked the vacuum. The vacuum was right in spec and everything on Frankenstein, but just wasn't running right. And this is my whole box of parts that I still got to put back on this car, onto the drag car. It's my transmission kit, valve cover gaskets for all my electrical and fueling systems, that all has to go onto it. My exhaust gaskets and valve cover gaskets, my coil, my spark plug wires, my spark plugs, my fuel pump, my braided fuel line there, and all the fittings, the end fittings that go to it right there. So I still got to put all that back on. So that is actually where we're sitting right now. I'm just waiting on push rods. They're in the mail. They should be here any day. They could have been here today, but they didn't show up, so maybe they'll be here tomorrow. After the push rods get here, and I can actually putting them in this engine, getting them set, and then I can turn it over and get number one on top, dead set compression, and drop this down in and get it bolted in, finally. And then we'll have the distributor set. The only thing is I don't have on this timing cover, I don't have the pointer for it. I'm guessing it was supposed to probably bolt here so that you can see what the timing is, but there, I don't have one on here. So I'm gonna have to look it up. This came off of 8850, and I put this on the 71 block with the new harmonic balancer for the 71. And the other thing I'm gonna have to do is figure out how to check the oil, because right now there is no opening to put a dipstick in anywhere. At least not that I see anywhere. Like there's not one on top here. There's not one in the oil pan anywhere. You know, I'm not sure how I am supposed to set this one up. I've got about 5.5 to 6 quarts of oil in it right now, 1540 diesel oil. So it's got the, that's the first sensor down there that you see at the bottom of that oil pan. I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, I got the 1540 oil in there right now for diesel engines. It's got the chemical in it that you need for breaking in a can. Plus I'm gonna throw another can zinc additive, that's what it is. I'm gonna throw another can of zinc additive on top of that in here. So it should make it a lot better. But as soon as I get the push rods, I'll be able to get them set, and then I can get the valve covers on and the exhaust on and get it put up onto the chain up here and sit it down in the engine and see how it's gonna work. You know, I gotta see if I got enough room for that original master cylinder, that horrible thing. But there's never been anything except for really bad complaints about they're always breaking. But I don't know how to get a kit for that and be the right size. It's right here, really strange thing. And this is like a power steering cooler, but I'm not even sure if I'm putting regular power steering on it right now. I don't think I am. So I want to save up and get the electric one that goes on to the steering shaft itself. If I have to reuse this one, I will. But if I can find a power booster and a kit that actually will hook up to my brake pedal, I would do that. I just don't know if they make anything like that. That is an original front grille for a 1984 Toyota FJ60. That came off of Frankenstein's body. I still have Frankenstein's original body. I got that sitting out in my junkyard. I want to actually make a stand for it and put it up out on my property as part of, like, I don't know, because the body's painted and everything, and it's got all the stickers on it still, and it's pretty nice. I like it. If I could get the body put all back together and sit it up on a stand out on the front property, I think that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, got tons of crap. I need to go through all this stuff and all that stuff over there and separate the parts that I want to put out in the motor home versus parts that I want to keep in here. And I got all these parts here that I got to go through. Yeah, it's a mess. But I can only do so much, especially in the cold with my stupid disease and shit. My bones are messed up. My muscles. You get this light turned off. I'm on lots and lots of medications and injections and chemo and all that crap. It's frustrating, but it's life. We live and we go on. And we try to do the stuff we enjoy. And that's where it comes in, where I can only do so much each day. Oh, yeah, see me wearing my glasses? I don't wear them as much as I should. They're like to straighten my eye, because I got my right eye's like down and over. And so it's like so many degrees or some crap like that. And these are like, what do they call them? Prism lenses. And they like pull the eye back over and up how it's supposed to be. At least that's the theory. But every time I take them off, I'm blind for like 10 or 15 minutes. I can't see anything if I take them off. So that's why if I do remember to put them on in the morning, I leave them on all day and don't take them off till nighttime. Until I go to bed. Yeah, I think that's about it, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and leave this off for now, And then I will be showing, next thing I'll be showing you, hopefully, is putting the push rods in the Riata engine, or in Radioactive's engine, and getting it put together and getting the transmission done. That should be in just the next few days. I'm just waiting on parts. And as soon as those push rods get here, they're holding up everything. If I would have thought about it, I would have ordered them earlier and cut the other push rods down and used the measuring to do that, to get the right size. I think they were like 6.8 inches is what was in there, and I had to have 6.5 because 6.8 was pushing the pushing down too far on the valve springs. And when you turn it over, it was bending the push rods. I had 2 in there originally. This one here, right there is a bent one. Goes zoop, like this. And there's another one in here, it's bent too. So yeah, right here, because I had 2 of them. This one's bent like the same way. It's got a. These are the 6.8 inch stock ones. That was originally in that engine. And I mostly got my little Ford Ranger done too. I extended the drive shaft 3 inches, welded it all up, grinded it down, painted it, and I think it's pretty straight, hopefully. Guess we'll find out once I get it back on the highway again. And I'm waiting on a mass airflow sensor for that, because right now I have the 4.0 flow sensor plugged in off the Ford Ranger engine. I got 2 4.0s out there for a Ford Ranger, and I took the mass airflow sensor off one of them, put it on this one, and it no longer reads a bad mass airflow sensor, but it reads a bad purge sensor, and it says it's running lean in banks 1 and 2. So, and it's running really rough, like it's missing or something. I put new wires on it, new plugs. Doesn't mean they're not bad coming in brand new, because so many parts are coming in not even working. It's crazy. Brand new parts out of the box. You hook them up and they don't work. I don't know what the deal is with that, but I guess quality control has really dropped. So you gotta like check every part you get, check the specs, measure them, make sure everything's right before you even try and install it. Because once you get it dirty and try to install it and stuff, and on a dirty engine, then it's really hard to get it cleaned up properly to take it back. Yep, that's where, alright guys, I've been talking here for like 10 plus minutes of bullshit, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. Next video you see will be right behind this one, like quickly. Well, it won't be quickly for me, but it'll be quickly for you. And it'll be putting the push rods in and getting the engine together, finishing it up, getting the flywheel bolted onto it and all that, and getting this transmission done. I'll show you every piece of that step by step. All right guys, have a good one. Later. All right fellas, we got something in the mail. Yeehaw. Looks like should be my set of 16 trick flow push rods. There they are. Now before we get to start putting the push rods in, I'll flip around and show you this car that my son's building in here. This is the one that's going to be his race car. We're pulling this engine and trans out of this. It's got a busted windshield, but the body is pretty decent, you know, little poke dings, but nothing serious. And it's in pretty good shape. The engine, I guess, in trans is good. But he already started gutting the interior to get that done. It's got a ding in the driver's door, but that should be able to pop out. And one in the back corner fender. They're not really bad crease, so they should pop out for the most part. It ain't a bad car. It'll be fun. This is what that half a Bronco rear end, rear frame, and that rear end, that Ford 9-inch rear end we put on is going on here. And we got the TH400 tranny and the 454. That's going to be going in here. So it'll be a very interesting, powerful setup, I think, especially for NA, unless he ends up going further than that later on. We'll see, I guess. And there's my engine. We're about to put push rods in and get that all set up. Yippee-ki-yay. Well, fellas, as it turns out, I got all the wrong nuts except for 4 of them. They're all in the same box. And I know I had a stud with me and everything when I went there and I checked one. I assumed they were all the right size. I should have checked every single nut to make sure the thread was the same. I have 4 of them that are the correct size, and all the other 16 I got lined up there on my microwave, or not 16, 14, are all the wrong size. So I started to try to use the original ones with these that came with the stud kit, but this locking mechanism they have on it are steel things that are like pressed over and pushing down in. And so when you screw them in, it destroys the threads. So, and then you can't get the nut back off at all. So they lock really good, but sometimes you can't even get them onto the nut, past the piece, and that's what just happened with that other stud. So I gotta somehow heat that up and get it off the other stud and use a die on that thread and go get 14 more of the correct size bolts. Go trade those back in. Very, very frustrating. Yeah, quality control anymore is absolutely horrendous. I don't know what's going on here in the US with people and they're not doing their jobs, but it's ridiculous. It ain't what it used to be, not even close. People used to take heart to their work and actually care about it. Now they're just there to pick up a 10-cent or $1 or whatever you want to say. I'm not going to use these just because I already got the other side. The other side one started working. I used 4 on the other side, but I couldn't do it by hand. I had to use the impact to get it down. And they also loosened back up with the impact. So Maybe I just had one nut that was bad out of these, but I'm not taking any chances. I don't want to ruin all of my studs and keep tearing them back out of the heads after I just drilled and helicoiled them and then Loctited them all. So I'm just going to get the right size ones and I'm not going to worry about it. So I guess that's going to be all for tonight. Sorry guys, you're going to have to wait till tomorrow. I'll run to the store and get the right size studs, or nuts for the studs. All right. Well, that is not some pretty news. Did everything I could to get this nut. And this is where it is. It's only that far into it. Barely. I mean, there's still a divot in here. And it's so Loctite. With no Loctite on it, obviously. I didn't put any Loctite on it. That it literally snapped a 7/16 bolt in half. So I put this side in the vise and tried to turn this with a breaker bar. So I couldn't get it off any other way. And it literally snapped it in half. So now I don't have another stud. So I'm going to go in and file a complaint and see if I can get my money back. Take some pictures and send it to them. And see if they'll give me another set or something. Because these lock things are not supposed to be permanent. And they're not just supposed to destroy the thread when you put them on there. So they screwed this up is what they did for this whole set when they made these. So I'm just going to see if I can get a whole new set and get my money back for these. Couldn't believe it. Just snapped in half like that.